Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late August 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you have for the Rams in late August? As we move on into Virgo season, what energies, messages, insights can we take a peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries in late August. What is the vibe? What's the energy? We are on the cusp of a brand new season, my good friends. Let's see what's happening. Okay, nice and quick. I'll take it. All right, who in the world are you? There could be a lot of things that you're questioning in this time. And that's not always a bad thing. And from my experience being an Aries myself, I know that we can be rather inquisitive, right? We're the first of the zodiac. So when things catch our attention, we're like, let's look into this a little further. Now, for some of you, this could really tie in heavily to identity. Now, before we fully dive into it, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So I always say I read this deck specifically intuitively, so we don't just have to go on the colors and the images and the words itself. And to me, again, it feels very curious for the most part. So again, whether it's a person, whether it's how someone's acting, whether it's a behavior, whether it's something within yourself, I feel like I'm questioning a lot of things. Not to say that someone's being deceptive or you feel like someone's being deceptive, but to me, it's like, all right, no, something is really catching my eye, catching my attention. And there's nothing wrong with that. There could be interesting things that you're diving down the rabbit hole, whether it's work things, hobby things, business things. So there's a lot of things that you could be questioning across the board. The only thing I would watch out for in this time with this card in particular is identity things. Now, again, as an Aries myself, I know we're one of the signs we don't normally lack for confidence. But when I see this card, sometimes it can represent something where you're like, I'm not quite sure about this. So whether it's a situation or something, it's like, I'm questioning the energy around it. That's like the main vibe I'm picking up here. So we're just going to put it down right here. Don't let anything kill your fire. Don't let anything kill your confidence. But we're going to let her chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aries gang. And while we do, let's talk about last week's reading. It seemed like there was a pretty good turn of energy last week. And so I hope that did come in for you. The reading was titled The Massive Win. Now, I always say wins come in all different shapes and sizes. Maybe you had a couple of really great days. Maybe there's something very exciting coming up for you. Could be a work thing, career thing, personal relationship. To me, it just felt like the energy turning in a positive way. So we're going to hope to keep that going because, you know, that energy could bleed over for a couple of weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Aries gang. What is happening, please, in late August? What? There we go. Okay. All right. So we do have the moon in position number 1. Very subtle, very mysterious. Let's just get it tucked in right over there and see what's happening. That is the unknowns. That does tie in with that oracle card, like things you could be questioning. Let's get a couple more. Makes total sense to me. Okay, now we have a tower. Okay, we're going to keep it moving here. Don't get too nervous about that tower. You know, sometimes they could be good. A lot of water energy showing up for you this week. Let's get one more. What do we got for Aries gang, please? Thank you. 8 of Swords. Okay, all internal energy. So we're just going to really take a close, hard look at all this stuff because to me, there are a lot of unknowns for some reason. Like every single one of these cards does tie in with unknowns, things popping in out of nowhere. Again, doesn't have to be a bad thing. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know why I always look at the elements first, because that kind of helps us narrow down where we're looking. And with the moon and the tower, we have Pisces and Cancer for some readers, and Scorpio, we have the full water sign complement shown up here. Now, water is the realm of creativity, the inner world. It's very daydreamy and etheric and very subtle type of energy normally. It can be shrouded. That's a big thing with water energy. It could tie into your emotions, your feelings, love, romance things. Matters of the heart are really big when it comes to that. And then we have some air, which is a little different, right? That's an energy where it's about logic, planning, strategy, the mind. So it's like we have the heart and mind showing up here heavily in the elements. And we'll see how they all mix together. But the big theme for each one are unknowns, like with the moon, then the tower, and then even this person back here is blindfolded. So we're going to see what's coming at you, my friends, or us rather. But let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, the moon. Now, as I already mentioned, that's big Pisces energy. Some people also link it to Cancer. And it's a very soft, subtle energy. It's kind of just chilling, doing its own thing. That's what I usually like about it. It can tie into dreams. So watch your dreams in this time. You might be having some very vivid, funky dreams when this card is here. Intuition. So your gut could be trying to tell you things. And as I mentioned, it's like feeling something in the air. So it's not always a bad thing. I know it does also tie in, especially the more negative traits of the moon, could represent secrecy, could represent the unknown, unexpected, surprising, all that good stuff, shrouded energy. But it could just be something that hasn't quite shown its face yet. So we really want to clarify it to see, like, all right, well, what's going to show up? What's going to pop in? And the fact that it goes from so subtle to so intense, we really want to take a very close look at it. And yeah, it does tie into the intuition heavy. So if your gut's telling you something, you might really want to listen to it in this time. Now, moving to the middle is an area of the reading that we definitely want to keep a very close look or eye on. We have the tower, so big Scorpio energy. So maybe you're like me and you have Aries and Scorpio placements. Maybe you're connected to Scorpio, but I always say the imagery and the energy that this card carries does usually concern people because it's an energy of shock. And you look at the picture there, it doesn't look the nicest, right? With the lightning and the tower and the people. So, of course, I get why people lump this into like always being a challenge, which it can be. But when I see the tower, it's just something that, boom, it's not there, then it's there. And it makes a lot of sense when we go from this very subtle moon, which isn't really doing anything. It's incognito, and then boom, the tower just pops in. So it is a shocking energy. We're going to hope that it's a shocking good energy. It could also represent endings. It could also represent karmic energy. It could represent hitting the reset button. So there could be certain areas of life where you're like, you know what, let's hit the refresh. Let's try something over again. Let's clean the slate. So there are some positives that we could link into this tower. It's huge for change, and it is extremely karmic energy. Now, moving to the back end, we have the Eight of Swords. Okay. See this individual, right? They're blindfolded, they're surrounded within the swords. And this, again, looks like a concerning image, but there's positives here as well. The positive of this card to me does have that little mysterious vibe, of course, but to me it's an energy that comes and goes rather quickly. So it's like, all right, this isn't something that drags out. This isn't something that stretches for months and months and years. It's like boom, boom, it's quick. It's like pulling off a band-aid. That's what I like. It's an energy where you could be freeing yourself in the positive sense, where it's like, okay, now I have a weight off my shoulders. So there is some good potential in this energy, but this card does also link to overthinking, stress, anxiety, nervousness, sometimes feeling trapped or in a corner. So we do want to look at this further. And remember, this doesn't have to be your energy. It could be someone you're connected to as well. Like someone could be in a I don't feel like this is someone thinking worst case scenario. We'll have to see as we move through the reading. But like with this Eight of Swords and the Tower and the Moon, it's like an energy where it's like I'm waiting on the other shoe to drop, or there's an impending energy. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aries. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. We're going to get to the bottom of this, my good friends. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the moon. Let's see what's happening with the moon. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's see what's happening. Why is the moon here, please? Why is the moon here? Thank you. Okay. This doesn't feel bad. And the only reason I'm going to hold a little bit of caution here is what I see in the middle, right? Because we have the Three of Cups. That's usually a card of happiness, joyousness, merriment, where it's like, okay, no, I'm staying optimistic about something. So for some Aries, we're going to brace this in a couple of different ways, especially if we're going from the wave that we were seeing last week. This is one of my cards of wins and victories whenever I see it, and even blessings sometimes because these people are coming together and they're celebrating. So this could be a surprising, unexpected win or victory, of course, if we read it at its bare bones. But for some of you, this could also be advice from Spirit saying, like, all right, Aries, even if there's unknowns, even if there's certain things that don't quite compute or things you don't understand, try your best to assume the best and stay optimistic no matter what. Like, always assume the best for yourself. Always assume the best for your situation, especially if there's unknown factors. You don't want to like drive yourself into negative thought loops. So it's like we do have that divergence of energy here. So I think for a lot of Aries, this could be absolutely awesome, where it could be an unexpected win or victory or surprising one. But for another portion of you, it is definitely big advice, especially if you're dealing with a situation where there are unknowns or there's certain pieces of information where it's like, I don't know what they're doing, I don't know what they're planning, or I don't know what's going on. Like what ifs. Don't get trapped in what ifs and always assume the best. That's how it's showing up to me. So we're just going to leave it at that. Very simple. I really want to get to this tower and the Eight of Swords because we'll see. Let's see what's up with the tower. Because again, that energy comes in hot, comes in real hot. So why is the tower here for late August for Aries, please? My guide spirit team, what is happening? Why is the tower here? Thank you. And this is very similar to something I saw 3 weeks ago. So we have the world in reverse underneath it. Okay, and this is something that just comes back. It's like out of nowhere. This is one of my prototypical cards of returns. It is. So whether it is a situation, whether it's a person, I saw it, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, where there was a similar energy in the ether. So just know whether it's people you haven't talked to in a while, whether it's situations. When I see the world in reverse under the tower, it's like crickets. We're not hearing anything. Quiet, all quiet on the front, and then boom, the energy just pops back in. That's how it feels to me. Now, again, both of these are karmic. Okay, so when we have the tower and the world in reverse, for some of you, there could be situations, karmic situations, that have unfinished business. And usually, when that happens, the universe will find a way for you to finish that business one way or another. So, whether it is like a karmic shock, karmic situation, or the unfinished business that I'm picking up too for some of you. So it's peculiar how the energy's showing up because we have this energy. It's very positive. I don't think this is bad. If the world was in the upright, I'd be like, oh, that's like a shocking ending of some sort. That's something that comes to a sudden halt. World in reverse is something like we're touching base again, or we're like something loops back. That's just what it shows up. So in this time, in the short term, just know this is a very strong theme for the past few weeks for Aries. Let's keep moving over to the Eight of Swords, and we'll see what's up there. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So I'm not disliking the energy. There is really good stuff here. I'm not sure. Some of you might like this energy in the center. Some of you might not. It really depends. But there's something unfinished. There's something unfinished or unresolved. Let's go in on the Eight of Swords. Why's the Eight of Swords here for Aries? Thank you. Goes way better than you even think. Something could go way better than you even think possible. So we do have another three. So a big theme I'm going to mention as well in this time, especially with the Three of Pentacles, Three of Cups. These usually represent multiple people, circles of people, the people you surround yourself with. So when I see the Three of Pentacles in the upright underneath the Eight of Swords, either one, this is something that either goes way better, way smoother than you're even anticipating, especially good for work, career, and business stuff here as well. But there is also this little warning about getting pulled into other people's stuff. That's the thing, especially if right now you have a lot on your plate, if you have a lot on your mind, if you're like very busy, or even if it's something big emotional on your plate, just don't overload yourself. That's a big vibe. A lot of you might need to relax a little bit or take a little vacay. That's how it feels to me. Now, the Three of Pentacles is usually a card of harmony, people working together. So I feel like aside from that warning about getting pulled into other people's stuff, it's like, oh, well, there's something that I may have been stressing but it went better than I thought. Why was I even stressing it? So there could be something that is playing with your mind or bugging you a little bit right now. But in retrospect, it's going to be like, I had nothing to worry about. Like there was nothing to even concern myself about with this. So I think that's a good thing. So it's a bit of a mixed energy here this week, Aries, and I guess it depends on your situation. There's a lot of powerful stuff, but I feel for a lot of you, these can be really good energies that you can work with. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, start off pretty good, right? We got the moon clarified by the Three of Cups. Really nice. Again, to me, it splits. It's either advice or an unexpected or surprising winner victory. It's like, wow, that's awesome. Something great comes in. I'm very happy about this. So it could be something that's not even on your radar right now. For another portion of you, that's an advice. If you're dealing with situations where you don't know all the facts or there's some unknowns or, oh, I wonder how this is going to turn out, this is Spirit asking you to always stay positive and assume the best for yourself and for the situation. Moving to the center, we have the Tower with the World in reverse, a very powerful theme I've been seeing for our collective over the past few weeks. This could be something that it just pops back in. It's like a shocking return or reemergence of something. I also feel like there could be a karmic situation that you either have been dealing with or are dealing with where it's like there's unfinished business there. So keep that in mind. And I always say, like, if there's unfinished business, the universe will find a way to finish that business one way or another. Moving to the back end, we have the Eight of Swords with the Three of Pentacles. Something could go smoother than you think, something that could be stressing you, or something that seems like a stress point. In retrospect, it's going to be like, I had nothing to worry about, which is really nice. I feel like the only warning here, especially with the double threes, is not getting pulled into other people's stuff, like outside things. So if you have a lot on your plate, a lot on your mind, a lot on your heart, try not to overextend yourself. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my Aries friends. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing, and the deck is trying to jump out of my hands. Let's shuffle it up here. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going. What do we got for Aries, please? What do we have? Okay, I will take it. So you have two, and to me, this does feel more like advice for a lot of you. And we're riding that wave where even if certain things don't look optimal right now, they will be. Now, something rare happened. You got two shadow cards. I usually only get one. It's a very rare thing when we get two. And apologies if they come in a little wonky. I'm going to try to line them up for you. But we got the Four of Wands, the 1111 card, and Temperance. Very spiritual cards right here. Big cards of spiritual protection. Now, for a lot of you, watch for signs, synchronicities, omens when we have the Four of Wands. But usually that is also celebratory. People coming together and having a great time, something turning out well. And then we have Temperance, which is relaxed, chill, calm. So for some of you, once again, there is something that may be a bit of a stress point right now where it's like either I'm not stressing it anymore, or in retrospect, it's going to be like, I had nothing to worry about. The only shadow side I see with these two cards is that they're both pretty grounded and slow. So watch out for your patience levels in this time, because there could be certain things or people where it's like, I'm losing patience here. So just watch out for that. But aside from that, I think those are pretty good shadow cards. So please, if you want to look into that further, you can go right ahead. Aries, that's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you'd like to have a little chat with me, you can book a personal reading with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The calendar for August is up, so you could go check out the availability over there. But for the August subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my most favorite decks, the classic Gilded Tarot Royale. It's beautiful, and it's definitely one of my go-to decks. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, we have a very easy question this month. Out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one is your favorite? Is it the one that attaches to your zodiac sign? Is it one where you just like the art? You can put that answer down in the comments and you will be entered to win, my friends. And as usual, the winners will be announced in the community tab at the end of the month. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.